Hello, my beautiful, magnificent Leos, and welcome back to Cosmic Wisdom. I need you to gather your regal energy and listen to me with your whole heart. There is something you must know, and you must know it right now. This is not a message to create fear, my friends. Oh no, this is a message of profound liberation designed to unshackle your soul from an invisible weight you may have been carrying for years. Something has been happening in the shadows of your brilliant life, something silent but incredibly real. You cannot see it with your physical eyes, but I know your fiery spirit, your powerful intuition has already sensed it. A force has been tracking you, dear Leo. But listen closely, it is not here to cause you physical harm. It is here to push you to a final, powerful threshold. A place where you must reclaim your throne and awaken to a power you have forgotten you possess. And what may send a chill through your lion-hearted spirit is the realization that the one who opened the door for this darkness to creep in may be the very person you once allowed into your royal court, someone you trusted with the keys to your kingdom. But please hear me when I say, this is not the end of your reign. This is the beginning of a new one. Because a celestial champion, the glorious Archangel Michael, has appeared. He is not here to punish or to wage war. He is here to hand you back your crown, to reignite your inner sun, and to set you free from the invisible chains of doubt. Right now, in this first part of our journey together, I will reveal how this hired assassin does not come with a weapon of steel. He comes cloaked in a darkness that seeks to do the one thing you fear most, to extinguish your magnificent light. Are you ready to face this truth and reclaim your power? If your heart is roaring yes, then do me a favor right now and press that like button. Let the universe know you are ready for this divine intervention. My dear radiant Leos, you who are ruled by the sun itself, your light is your very essence. It is your gift to the world. How many times have you walked into a room and felt it light up, not out of ego, but because your genuine warmth and creative fire are just that potent? But have you ever looked at someone close to you, and felt your own light retreat? Not because they shouted at you, not because they attacked you with cruel words, but because when they looked at you, their eyes held a void, a subtle dimming, a quiet lack of applause for your soul's performance. It's in the space between your words, that unspoken judgment, that you can feel a rejection so profound, it chills your fiery heart. You see, this assassin, this energetic hitman, doesn't need a blade to wound a Leo's spirit. A dismissive glance is enough. One moment of them undermining your brilliant idea is enough. A wall of silence when you are sharing your passion is more than enough for the shadows of doubt to pour in. It's as if someone you invited into your sacred throne room, into the very heart of your kingdom, left a side door unlocked for the darkness to seep in. And that, my magnificent friend, is how this shadow entered your life. It didn't need to break down the gates. It was simply allowed in by someone you trusted, someone who smiled at you while quietly harboring envy for your shine. I know this is a difficult truth to hear, but I am not here on Cosmic Wisdom to bring you comfortable illusions. I am here for your grand, glorious awakening. Because someone was hired, energetically speaking, to do the one thing they thought was possible, to make you doubt your own magnificence, to make you question if your light was too bright. But this assassin, he didn't sneak in through the window under the cover of night. No, he entered through your own moments of vulnerability. He used your own creative heart, your generosity, your desire to be loved and admired, to cut you deep. He whispered lies on the wind that you mistook for your own thoughts. Maybe I am too much. Maybe I should dim my light so others can feel comfortable. Maybe I don't deserve the spotlight. And the most devastating part of this entire cosmic drama, he did not do it alone. Have you ever wondered why the people you bring closest to your fire are sometimes the ones who get burned by jealousy? Why those you share your kingdom with are the ones who sometimes try to stage a coup? It's because you, dear Leo, are a natural-born leader. You are the sun, and other planets naturally orbit you. You love with a grand, theatrical, and deeply loyal heart. You forgive with the grace of a true monarch. But that very majesty, that inherent radiance, can make you a target for those who live in shadow, for those who have never learned to cultivate their own inner light. They see your effortless shine, and they resent it. They know your heart is generous, so they take more than their share of your energy. They know you are loyal, so they betray that loyalty, assuming you will be too proud or too heartbroken to cast them out. They know you might even blame yourself, wondering, what did I do to make them feel this way? And in that moment of your self-doubt, they grow bolder. The darkness they carry expands not because they are powerful, but because you, the mighty lion or lioness, momentarily forgot that no one has the right to dim your sun. The great spiritual masters have taught us that our greatest enemy is not an external force, but the ignorance that lives within our own hearts. It is the ignorance of our own power, our own worth. And sometimes, my dear Leo, that enemy stands right beside you on the royal balcony, waving to the crowds, wearing the mask of a friend, a partner, or a trusted confidant whom you never thought to question. This is not a sentence, my love. It is a cosmic wake-up call. It is a bugle call from the heavens, because only when you recognize the traitor in your court can you rightfully banish them. And only when you secure the gates of your kingdom can you ensure that only pure, beautiful light is allowed to enter. I'm not telling you to become suspicious of everyone. I'm asking you to love yourself with such ferocity that you recognize that no one, absolutely no one, has the right to make you feel small in the very kingdom you built with your own magnificent heart. The one who tried to dim your light is not more powerful than you. They simply grew accustomed to your generosity. They mistook your warmth for weakness. They didn't understand that a Leo's silence isn't surrender. It's the quiet gathering of a storm, the deep breath before a mighty world-changing roar. You may have once asked yourself, why did I stay loyal when I sensed betrayal? Because you are a creature of hope. Because you believed in their potential. Because you feared losing someone you loved so much that you started to lose yourself first. And that, my dear friend, is precisely when the assassin of light slipped in uninvited. All it took was for you to overlook your own radiance, and his shadow grew stronger in your shade. But you are no longer in that state. You are here with me listening to this. And that is all the proof the universe needs, that your soul is tired of this quiet dimming. You are remembering all the times you put on a brave face, all the times you forgave their subtle digs, all the times you waited for the applause that never came, all those times you wished someone would see your crown slipping and ask, my king, my queen, are you okay? But no one asked, and so you straightened your own crown and remained silent. You don't need me to name the one who hurt you. You need someone to show you that you loved others with such a brilliant, all-encompassing light that you forgot to keep some for yourself. And today, I am that someone. I am here to tell you, you were not wrong to trust, but it is now time to trust your own royal instincts even more. You're not weak. You simply loved with the courage of a lion in a world that is often populated by mice. You're not cursed. You are carrying a heart of pure gold that has been scratched and tarnished, but has never, ever lost its value. And you are most certainly not alone. Because every Leo soul is a fragment of the sun, and that light is beginning to reclaim the parts of your kingdom you once allowed to fall into shadow. Pause with me for a moment. Place your hand over your noble heart. Feel its steady, powerful beat. And whisper to yourself, I am the sun, and I am returning. Because from this moment forward, you will discover something even more profound than the identity of this assassin. You will find out who paid him. And believe me that truth will send shivers of recognition down your spine. Not from fear, but from the incredible realization that everything you have endured was part of a cosmic contract designed to make you the most powerful ruler of your own life. Are you ready to hear that truth? Because in the next part, I will reveal that the one who paid isn't just a person. It is a current of karma, a soul contract related to your divine purpose of leadership, an ancient memory you've forgotten, but which has never forgotten you. If someone has ever tried to steal your spotlight, to make you doubt the very magic that makes you, you write it down below. Not to blame them, but to begin the sacred act of reclaiming your stage. Let your voice be heard. Write, "I reclaim my light." Together we will lift the velvet curtain to see the one pulling the strings. And then you will no longer feel doubt. Only your power will remain. We'll meet again in part 2. There is a truth that many magnificent souls, especially you, dear Leo, take a long time to accept. The first person who opened the gates for this shadow to enter was not a stranger from a rival kingdom. So often it was someone you trusted enough to grant a seat on your royal council, someone to whom you handed the map of your inner world. The very one who once said, "I just want you to shine," may have ended up being the one who subtly tried to shatter your brilliance piece by piece. This is rarely done through obvious cruelty, my friends. A Leo would spot that a mile away and banish it with a mighty roar. No, this is done with tiny, quiet betrayals. A backhanded compliment. Forgetting to invite you to an important event. Taking credit for your idea. These cuts are so small you might have thought you were imagining them. So small there was no visible wound, but they were enough to keep you up at night questioning your own reign. And perhaps now, as the light of awareness dawns, you are beginning to see. The one who paid for this assassin didn't come cloaked in a black trench coat. They didn't carry a briefcase of money. My God, they may have once called you their closest friend, their partner, their family. Or worse, they might be a part of you. The part of your magnificent, generous heart that once trusted the wrong courtier, that forgave disloyalty too quickly, and that loved with the full force of the sun, even when your royal intuition was whispering warnings in your ear. Some people say they adore you, Leo, but only when you are serving their purpose. They speak of loyalty, but only when you agree with their counsel. The moment you begin to question them, the moment you roar for your own needs to be met, the moment you grow tired of always being the one to provide the warmth and light, they withdraw their affection as if you are the one being unreasonable. Leo, you are a radiant, life-giving sun, but not everyone who comes near you is there to grow in your light. Some are there to steal your heat, and once they have had their fill, they will complain that you are too bright and cast a shadow. You called it generosity. They called it your duty as a leader. But your soul called it betrayal. A great teacher once said, "Be wary of sweetness that hides the taste of poison." Not all praise is genuine, my friends. Some of it is designed to lower your royal guard. And once your defenses are down, they plant a tiny seed of doubt in your heart. A seed that says, "Maybe I'm not as great as I think I am." Over the years, that seed can grow into a thorny vine until one day you find yourself no longer sure if you deserve the crown you were born to wear. And so you start to doubt yourself before you doubt anyone else. You begin to wonder, am I just being arrogant? Am I too demanding? Am I taking up too much space? But my beautiful, magnificent Leo, asking for loyalty is not arrogance. Asking to be celebrated is not demanding. And refusing to have your light dimmed again and again is not taking up too much space. It is the absolute divine right of a soul who was born to lead with love. And sometimes the one who pays the highest price is you. Not with money, but with your precious energy, with your trust, with the creative projects you abandoned because someone made you feel they weren't good enough, with the parts of your brilliant personality you toned down because you feared they wouldn't be accepted by a lesser court. And that is how unknowingly you paid to keep people in your kingdom who never truly planned to be loyal subjects. You bought their presence with your own solar power. And at some point, you must realize the price has become far too high. The universe never allows someone to betray you as a punishment. It allows the betrayal, so you will awaken to the truth of your own power. A monarch only truly understands the value of loyalty after they have experienced treason. A Leo only truly reclaims their full blazing power when their heart has been broken by someone they sought to warm. You may be feeling a righteous anger right now. You may be remembering all the times you made excuses for them. They're just having a bad day. They didn't mean it that way. Maybe they're just intimidated by me. And so you carried the hurt, you dimmed your own light to make them comfortable, and you walked through the sorrow alone. But please, I am begging you, do not blame yourself anymore. You did the best you could with a heart that was designed for boundless generosity. You're not at fault for shining brightly. You simply didn't know yet that even the sun needs to have planets that orbit respectfully, not ones that try to crash into it. Your light needs boundaries, and those boundaries are the sacred line between your glorious reign and your own self-destruction. Leo, you are a soul born with the ability to sense insincerity. You can feel the shift in energy when applause becomes forced. You can sense envy hiding behind a smile. And so you know deep down, the one who paid this energetic assassin was not necessarily evil. Sometimes they were just a soul who never learned how to generate their own warmth, a soul shivering in the cold of their own inadequacy. They saw your fire, and instead of learning to build their own, they tried to steal an ember from yours. But whatever their reason, you are no longer required to let them stand near your throne. You can let them go, not because you hate them, but because you love your own kingdom, your own soul enough to know that their continued presence is a threat to the realm. And if a part of you is grieving right now, I see you. I see the royal child in you who is trembling, who still hopes that someone you anointed with your love could love you back with the same integrity. Can you look at this truth now? You were the one who invited them into your court without checking what they were hiding behind their back. And that is not shameful, it is sacred. It means you still believe in the goodness of people, and that is the mark of a true and noble leader. You might be thinking I was the one who let them stay. And yes, you were the one who opened the gates. But that also means you are the only one who has the power to close them. You hold the royal seal, no one else. So if you have ever been made to feel that your light was a problem, just breathe. And if you feel called, leave a roar below. Not an angry roar, but a roar of reclamation. A roar that lets the universe know you are no longer hiding your power for anyone. Right, my roar is my power. Because true forgiveness is not about absolving them of their treason. It is about absolving yourself for having blamed your own brightness for their shadows. Do you see that now? And what if this enemy, this rival, is not just outside you or even within you, but is part of a much grander cosmic story? In the next part, I will take you to a place where soul contracts are written in starlight, where ancient lessons of leadership and visibility return not to punish you, but to be mastered by you. Have you ever felt like you keep attracting the same kind of people who are jealous of your success? The same kind of wound over and over again. You are not imagining it. That is a message from the cosmos, and it is time for you, the great Leo, to decode it. Together, we will step into that sacred space, because only there will you finally understand who is truly pulling the invisible threads of your karmic destiny. I'll meet you in the place where shadows have no power, because your inner sun has begun its magnificent rise. My dear Leo, a divine intervention is happening. It is as quiet and as powerful as the sun rising over the horizon. There is no loud announcement, no clash of swords, but it is a shift so profound that the shadows of doubt can no longer touch your radiant soul. Not ever again. I'm not speaking of a miracle you might read about in ancient texts. I'm speaking of a spiritual reality that souls like you souls, who are born to shine and have endured attempts to dim their light, can feel in their very bones. You cannot see his fiery wings, but you know a celestial champion is near. You cannot hear his voice with your ears, but you know someone is championing your cause on a higher frequency. Archangel Michael does not come to punish the one who was jealous of your light. He does not come to drag the traitor from your court. He comes to do something far more important. He comes to ensure you will never feel the need to dim your light again. He arrives not with a sword of vengeance, but with a divine fire of truth, a celestial polishing cloth for your crown. He does not fight your battles for you, Leo. He stands behind you, adjusts your crown, places the scepter of self-worth back in your hand, and reminds you how to rule your own life, no longer trembling with self-doubt. I know you once believed you had to be even more brilliant, more successful, more perfect for them to finally see your worth. I know you once wished for a grand, dramatic validation to protect you from their subtle cuts. But my friend, the light of the divine doesn't operate in the way humans imagine. It doesn't arrive with a thunderous declaration of your victory. It arrives as a quiet, unshakable confidence that settles deep within your heart. It is a presence so pure and so powerful that the darkness simply dissolves in its wake. That Archangel Michael, the one who carries the sword of truth, does not need to shout to make the shadows flee. His presence beside you is enough to end every energetic attack. You only need to allow your soul to realize, I don't need to fight for my light anymore. I only need to be my light. A wise soul once taught that there is no bond stronger than the illusion that we are not worthy. Not iron chains, not prison walls, but the blindness of the heart when it can no longer see its own magnificence. And the divine, with its unconditional love, has said, when I see my children, my royal sons and stars bound by the lies of inadequacy, I send my champion to remind them of their own brilliant truth. Leo, maybe you didn't even realize it, but there were moments in your life when you felt like an invisible force caught you right before you gave up on a dream. A moment when you were on the edge of despair, and suddenly, an idea, a solution, a surge of creative energy appeared out of nowhere. Or maybe it was simpler. You woke up one morning after a night of feeling defeated, and you felt a renewed sense of purpose, a fire in your belly for no logical reason. That was not a coincidence. That was divine intervention. A sacred protection arriving at the exact moment to ensure that the shadows of doubt wouldn't pull you under completely. Archangel Michael will not let you fight to be seen. He knows you've been trying for too long. He knows you've been generous to a fault. He knows you have been quietly roaring in your heart for so long that your soul began to believe no one could hear it. And it is precisely when you stopped trying to prove your worth that he appeared, not to expose the one who betrayed you, not to prove that you were right all along, but to return to you what you once had and accidentally gave away your unshakable, unapologetic inner fire. You don't need to say anything more, Leo, because there is already an angel who has whispered to the cosmos, I saw that royal soul dim their own light to make others comfortable. It is time for them to shine at full wattage again. You don't need to justify your brilliance. You don't need to prove your worth, because at the deepest level of cosmic truth, your magnificent heart has already been seen, and your soul is being lifted, restored, and recrowned little by little. I know sometimes you ask yourself, am I being punished for being too proud? But the truth is, you are not being punished. You are being unchained from false humility. Everything you've been through was not a blow to your ego. It was a sign that your true, authentic reign is near. You can exhale now. You don't have to hold it all in. You don't have to pretend you are invincible when you are hurting. There is a force of pure golden light standing between you and the shadows of your past. You cannot see them, but they see you. And from this moment on, I hope you understand one thing: you don't need to seek revenge. You don't need an apology. You don't need the one who hurt you to suffer. Why? Because light has its own way of handling the dark. Divine justice always comes, my friends, but it is rarely loud. You only need to keep walking forward, focusing on your own glorious path without carrying the heavy baggage of resentment. To walk in the light requires one thing: letting go of the shadows that do not belong in your kingdom. You might be wondering, but what about those who tried to bring me down? What will happen to them? That is the question you've held in your noble heart for far too long. I do not have a sentence to hand down. I do not bring exposure. I only know this: the price they will pay will not come in a way you think. It may not be a public fall from grace. It may be a hollow, lonely existence forever, chasing a spark of light because they never learned to build their own fire. It may be living a life where no one truly trusts them, not even themselves. That is how the universe restores balance. That is how the cosmos handles the things your magnificent heart can no longer be burdened with. And in the final part of this journey, we will explore a perspective you may have never imagined. What happens when you have already been rescued, when your crown is back on your head, but the one who caused it all still lives in shadow, never exposed? Is that the moment you realize that your peace, your success, and your blazing happiness have become the ultimate proof of divine justice? If there has ever been a moment where you felt an unexplainable surge of courage, a sudden brilliant idea, or a deep sense of peace, feel free to gently share that moment below. Just a sign, a word that made you feel I was not alone. Because when you write it down, you are helping that divine light to multiply. And who knows, maybe your story will become the spark that reignites the fire in another Leo's heart. I'll meet you there, where light is no longer just a concept, but a living, breathing experience you can finally command. My dear Leo, not everyone who tried to dim your light will be exposed in a public square. Not every injustice will be judged in the way humans hope for, and not every shadow will be named in this lifetime. But you will be restored. There is no need to drag anyone before the court of human opinion. There is no need for a loud, dramatic apology. There is no need for validation from a world that once failed to applaud you. Because your soul, after all the silence and self-doubt, will finally hear a royal declaration. Not from human lips, but from that most sacred place where every quiet prayer for strength once flew. I want you to know this, and to let it settle into the very core of your being. Angels don't hunt down the wrongdoer. They don't plunge into the darkness to punish every sin of envy. They don't carry lists of who's right and who's wrong. They simply stand beside the one who has been chosen to carry the light. And you, Leo, you are that one. You weren't chosen because you were perfect. You were chosen because you were betrayed and still chose loyalty to yourself. You were chosen because you were misunderstood and still chose to shine with generosity. You were chosen because you were left in the cold and still chose to generate your own warmth. You are the soul who made it through the fire of envy without letting it turn you to ash. And the entire universe has witnessed your resilience, even when the world around you was blind to it. No, this is not revenge. This is realignment. Those who sowed seeds of doubt and envy will reap a harvest of loneliness, not because you cursed them, but because once your sun fully departs from their sky, they will find themselves lost in the darkness they themselves created. The cosmos has not forgotten. It does not need you to remember every single wound to ensure fairness. It saw, and it has already begun restoring what was stolen from you. Your trust in your own judgment, your sense of creative safety, and the pure, unadulterated joy you had before someone else's rejection tried to take it away. There was a time you thought you were a deposed monarch. You told yourself I was abandoned. No one sees my true worth. No one stands with me. But my love, you are not a victim. You are a witness. a witness to the quiet miracle that occurs when a royal soul hits a low point and still chooses to rise without waiting for an audience to applaud their comeback. You are the living answer to those who believe that kindness is weakness and that brilliance invites attack. You are living proof that a good and generous heart is never wasted. It may be wounded, but it is the very thing that makes the angels find you in a crowd where you once felt invisible. Now breathe, my dear. Breathe deep. Because from this moment forward, you no longer need to live on high alert. You no longer need to scan your court for traitors. You don't have to expose anyone, because your own light has become so bright that it is enough. And justice, though silent, is already in motion. Let your heart feel as light as a sunbeam, as free as a lion roaming its own savanna. Say nothing and still feel seen. Be as confident as a monarch who no longer fears dissent, because they know their rule is divine and just. Leo, you have just passed through a cosmic threshold. Not everyone makes it here because most people want to see their enemy fall before they can feel peace. But you magnificent soul, you just needed to be understood. You just needed your own light to be validated. And today you were. You don't need anyone's approval to forgive. You only need your own soul to know I chose light. I chose my own magnificent fire. And because of that, I am divinely protected. Your soul has just been released from a curse you may not have even known you carried. The fear that your light would always attract jealousy. The feeling that you would always have to fight for your place in the sun. But the light of truth has come, quietly, gently, like a hand that doesn't grip tightly, but somehow helps you straighten your own crown for the final time. Can you feel it, that gentleness approaching? Not like a strong wind, but like the steady, warm, life-giving rays of the morning sun. And if today you feel a little lighter, a little brighter, as if a long-held sadness quietly dissolved without you even noticing, I invite you to write a small thank you in the comments below. Not for me, but for yourself and for the divine forces that champion you. Write it as a sign that the light has touched you and that you have recognized it. Write it not to show off, but so that you and the universe will know that your noble heart is still open, and because of that, you are forever protected. Just write, "Thank you for my light. Thank you for staying through to the end of this incredible journey with a heart that is still so warm and brilliant." Not everyone who goes through pain keeps their generosity, but you did, Leo. You truly did. May every step you take from this day forward be on a path paved with gold. May every creative project you touch turn into a masterpiece. And may every sleep you enter be a dream where you are ruling your kingdom with joy and peace. Because you no longer walk alone. You have been seen, you have been championed, and you have been chosen. Now I would love to hear from you. What part of this message roared the loudest in your soul? Share your thoughts, your insights, your declarations of power in the comment section. By sharing our stories, we create a pride of lions, a community of light that can support and uplift one another. And of course, if you haven't already, please subscribe to Cosmic Wisdom. We have so much more to share with you, my friends. Tap or click on one of the videos you see on your screen to continue your journey into your limitless Leo potential. Remember, you are the creator of your reality. You are the sun, and you are fully capable of achieving your wildest, most magnificent dreams. Thank you for being here with me today. It has been a true honor. I wish you an abundance of joy, love, and unwavering success.